Hello. We're not live yet. Hello, everybody. We
Everybody.
are super glad to see you. I'm Lisa Daly. Welcome to the show today. We are really, really happy that all of you are here. If I sound better today, it's because I have an awesome new mic and I'm super excited about it. So, also, if I sound terrible today, same reason, let me know in the chat. I literally just set it up yesterday. So I'm feeling very fancy though. And I don't know if you guys can
Lisa's new mic is like me with the new gear. I'm all over
Uh-huh.
the place about the new gear that I got. Thank you, Robert, again.
I
Oh,
also
go
want to
ahead.
thank everybody that contributed to getting her the new
Yes.
gear because it arrived and everything went.
Yay. I'm so happy that it got there. I am so happy that it got there. And Robert, oh my gosh, I mean, all of the work that you did to do the Kickstarter and actually put that thing in a box and get it out there. So like yay to everybody. We are so lucky to have such a wonderful, wonderful community here.
Yes.
Yay. All right. So, as folks, look, we've got like 18 people coming here today. So, you know why? It's because I changed the title
Stream.
of the stream to be how to earn $15 million in one day, because we are going to talk about. So, is that why you guys are here? We are talking about Brandon Sanderson's insane Kickstarter, which is only 23 hours old, and YouTube video. I did link to the video down in the chat yesterday.
A
And
Kickstarter?
yeah, we're gonna talk about. Well, we're gonna say do our little intros. We'll talk a little bit about what happened, and then we'll get started with we'll talk to folks in the chat for a little bit, and then we're gonna do our 5 minute, and then we'll come back. So that way, if you want to watch it on the first bigger sprint, we can definitely do that. But the link is in the description today. For once, it's there before we get started. So let's go ahead and go all around the circle. I'm going to start with you, Caro. Tell us a little bit about you and your channel.
My channel has dust on it, but my name is Kara Brown. I wrote those books on the wall over there. I actually do a lot of my author chatter on Substack right now. That's where I do like my weekly blog posts. Like one just came out this morning. So if you guys want to hear my 2 cents about various topics today, I wrote about right to market, if you guys want to check that out. So
love that.
And I'm here to actually work on the last book. That's technically the second book in my adult series. And I don't know why I wrote everything else before I wrote this one, but this is like the one that's holding everything up. So go me.
Yay. We are very glad to hear that. So why don't you drop that link in the private chat, or actually drop it in the regular chat, but also in the private chat. And I will, when we take our 5-minute sprint, I'll put that in your Substack link in the description below. Thank you.
I'm a mod. I can just put it in the thing for you too. So.
Oh, that would be great. Thanks so much. Doll, welcome today.
Hello.
Tell us a little about you and your channel.
Hello there, humans. I'm Cecil Runo, a blind storyteller for introspective readers, and my YouTube channel is a strange combination of wildlife meets writing stuff. So if you want to check out my latest video, which came out last Friday and got to 100 views in less than a week, I'm so excited. Yeah, so if you want to check that out and get new video ideas for your own writer channel, that's on my YouTube at
Such a good video.
Oh my god, thank you. So yeah, that's my latest update. You can also follow me all over social media, subscribe to my newsletter or my support pages if you want, if you like my stuff. So yeah, I have a bunch of things. All of them can be found at Cecil Runo.
Excellent. Yay. Thank you so much, Doll. Sako, tell us a little bit about you and your channel. Welcome.
Howdy, neighbors. I'm Sako Toomey, also known as Cass Foyt. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things. If you are interested in videos that pertain to marketing for authors, I have a whole playlist of them on my channel, Sako Toomey, Cass Foyt. And it's not just me talking, it's also people like Lisa and Barrett and a bunch of other authors who have something to say on the topic. So you should drop by sometime. I would love to see you.
Thank you so much, Sako. Story detective Robert Jones is here. Tell us a little bit about you and your channel.
My also slightly dusty channel is the Story Detective, where we take all forms of storytelling and put it under a Sherlockian microscope, break down the craft in hopes to make your craft journey easier. I am also beginning this month, and I started yesterday, to edit the next draft of what will be my first published novel.
Yay! I'm super excited about that. That is amazing. Michelle Schusterman is here. Michelle, tell us a little bit about you and your channel.
With Rosa.
Yes,
And Rose is here today.
making her presence known today. I'm Michelle Schusterman. I'm a young adult and middle grade author, and my YouTube channel is writing workshops and traditional publishing chat and writing vlogs. Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks for being here today. All right, you guys. So today I'm going to say hey to everybody in the comments. I'm going to try and go fast. Thank you for the reminder, Caro. And then we're going to talk a little bit about $15 million in 23 hours. Amazing. No. JC is here today. Hello, JC. We are well, StreamYard's not agreeing today. Let's see what's happening. There you are. Hello, darling. Okay. One more time. Ready? Yay. Okay. JC is here today. We are super glad to see you. Congratulations on being first. Very nice job. Benny Bright is here. Hello. Good morning. We are super glad to see you. Ginny Noble is here. Yay. We got such a good crowd today, guys. CB394 is here. And Claude is here. And the snow is melting. Debbie's here. Our darling Barrett Laurie is here. Good morning. Oh, and thank you very much, Barrett. We really appreciate that. Look who's here. It's Devin Cuddy. If you want to know what other live streams are going on any day of the week, you can always head on over to Devin's channel because he has always got a playlist rolling, which I love about him. Barrett is very excited about learning how to make $15 million in a day. Came for the millions, but stayed for the community. Aw, you're so sweet. All right, Hayden's here. Hi, Hayden. We're very glad to see you. Love that. Hayden, the Southern writer. Now we know a little bit more about you, and I love that. Love that. Love that. Morgan's here. Hi, Morgan. We're very glad. Oh, nice. I love that. I'm so happy I got a hashtag. Hashtag lavish. Because I'm so fancy with my new mic. Carrie's here. We're very glad to see you today. And she's here to bring a little. Thank you very much. Mint Ghost is here. Hi. Happy writing to everybody. Very, very nice. I know you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Carrie says, long time no see. The keys on my keyboard keep sticking. I'm having the exact same problem. Very nice. All right. Well, there's a whole coffee discussion. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody because we had so much to get to today. Dun, dun, dun. Am I missing? Kelly's here. Hey, Kelly. We're very glad to see you. He is doing amazingly well. Oh, my gosh. All right. So it looks like some people know about it. For those of you who don't, I'm going to sort of explain what happened. So many of you know Brandon Sanderson. He is the author of Wheel of Time. He wrote like the last three of the Wheel of Time series.
He wrote the last of the Wheel of Time. He's the author of the Mistborn series. He's got like his own Cosmos thing. Like I haven't read all of his books, but I've read about 40% of them. Mr. Brown, however, has read most of them.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. The Horror Geek is also a big fan. I'm familiar with his YouTube videos. I find him to be fairly entertaining, and he's kind of an interesting guy. So he writes a ton of series, and his books are like big, like 800, 900 page books. I mean, they're huge, and he has. He teaches, I think, a writing course at I want to say BYU. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He taught a course and then he just made it available online for everybody. And then, fun fact, he actually used to be an engineer. So when you listen to him talk about these courses, he really does break it down into kind of like first you do step A and then you do step B. And one of the first panels that he did was actually talking about magic systems. Obviously, you guys are about to find out how much I know about Brandon Sanderson. But he got into a big argument on his very first panel because he said, you need to tell your readers exactly how your magic system works, so that way they understand the limitations of it. And all the other people that did magic systems were like, no, fool, you're wrong. And now everybody does it Brandon's way.
I'll bet they do. Well, he sells a lot of books. And so here's what's fascinating. He does this video, and I'll just do a quick recap, which he just released yesterday. And in the video, he says that over the course of the pandemic, he sort of dealt with the stress by writing more books. And the reason he was able to do that was that he generally travels about 100 days a year, and that once he did not have to travel anymore because of the pandemic, like not only like didn't have to, but couldn't travel, he suddenly had all this free time, and he kind of dealt with the stress by writing more books. And in conjunction with the video, I feel like I don't want to spoil like the whole thing. In conjunction with the video, he has a Kickstarter that launched right as the video launched. And the Kickstarter is insane in that he has, in 23 hours, raised over $15 million. And this thing has just, like, you can literally watch it. I think I'm going to bring it up for 1 second.
Tick upwards.
Yeah, and not slowly, like every couple of seconds you get like this.
Yeah, you sent it to me, and you sent me the video, and I went to the Kickstarter. I literally have just watched it like every half minute, just continue to.
It just jumps. It's crazy.
What is the
crazy.
Kickstarter for? Like, what is the goal of the?
Well,
what is
here's
it?
the thing. So the goal. I feel like I want to. Okay.
You're welcome for free advertisement, Brandon. Please send us a thank you card.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So what has happened? So what he's done, I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but he was busy writing novels, and he's doing a Kickstarter release of those novels, even though he is traditionally published, because, and I don't want to spoil any more of it, but in any case, people seem to be mildly enthusiastic about this. But I want to show you guys this number here. 59. He has 59,400. You see how fast those are going up? It's crazy. 59,000 backers, and he's made $15 million. Now, some of that is going to have to go to delivering what he has promised, but I can tell you it's not going to be $1 million. It probably won't even be $500,000. But even if it were, he's going to come out of this $15 million richer. And as much as I love traditional publishing and have loved my traditional publishing experience, when I think about my book sales, especially for Stop Getting Dumped, which was a big seller, and how many books I've sold, I can tell you I did not make $15 million. And I loved the way that he did this promotion. I love like the drama of the YouTube video. I actually found the YouTube video to be helpful in a variety of ways, just interesting, and had some kind of interesting breakdown on how he spends his time. But there is something magical about what he's done here with this Kickstarter. Now, obviously, he has a much bigger audience than any of us do, but Kickstarter campaigns is something that Robert has kind of harped on for a long time. And I think this is like a spectacular example of how to do this really well. So I know a lot of you guys have not seen it. And so what I want to do is go ahead and start off with our 5-minute warm-up sprint. So you can either go take and watch it on speed, or think about look at the Kickstarter and all that stuff, or you can just kind of get your coffee and open up your document and all that other stuff. We are going to have regular writing sprints today. So, but I did think it would be kind of cool if we talked about this today, because I found it absolutely fascinating. So
Yes.
All right.
Especially since this plan is my plan.
Yes, exactly. Right. I just thought there were so many things that he did so well. Now, some of the things you could not, if you look at what he's offering on the Kickstarter, some of those things you could not do unless you already had an established audience. And
no, I'm not
universe.
Brandon Sanderson, but at the same time, I've read the trades, and they said Kickstarter for writers is better. And if you have a good platform for it, you can do quite well. And the examples that I've seen, from people that were not published. There was like a children's book, and their promotion for it was just getting better female characters out there for children's stories, and they made over $300,000 just for that. So you can do well if you have a proper promotional package and a video.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, so I always think whenever somebody does something really new, different, interesting in your space, even if you're not them, there are always so many great lessons to be gleaned from that. So that was kind of what I wanted to talk about today. And also just the spectacle of of the whole thing. Like 15, like by the end of this, he'll definitely be closing in on $16 million. This is a 30-day campaign, and he is not he's been at it for like 23 and a half hours.
I like
Maybe.
Barrett's comment. We need to raise 15 million for my aside from 2020 when I did almost nothing, and then last year I wrote 6 months, I would say I put about 3.5 years into getting books written for self-publishing, and I've written like 11 novels and started one craft book. So I have the same kind of backlog that when I start, it's not going to be like I have to keep up with it and keep producing crap, because I already have a foundation for novels to put out.
I'm so proud of you, Robert. Yeah. I think you've set yourself up in a really
I
great way.
have questions for later, because like a lot of us have like coffee and Patreon pages. So should we move our goal for raising money from those to Kickstarter, or how is it go?
No, let's just wait and do our sprint.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
after that-
Yeah,
exactly.
but I
for
think
later.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really great question, though. So thank you for bringing it up. And look at that. Here goes our sprint. So for some reason, we're not hearing the sound. I don't know why. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. We'll be back in 5 minutes. And we're back, everybody. So sorry about the sound. I'm not quite sure what happened. I must not have clicked that box as well as I should have. So tons and tons of awesome comments in the chat today. So
I watched some of that video. I like I have to point out something because I just made a video about video ideas.
mhm.
Pay attention not to what he's saying, but how he is developing the whole thing as a story in itself. He
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
using storytelling in the video itself.
Oh,
And that
yeah.
is something we as writers should do more
Mhm.
with whatever
Abso-
we put out.
Absolutely. Well, and you're hooked from the very first page, right? That is a great opening line. I think the man can write. Uh, it is a great opening line because he's telling you, I've been keeping a secret. I've been keeping a secret from you.
And I've
He's
been
an
lying
author.
to
He
you.
knows
And I've been
Yeah, he
lying
knows how
to
to write
you.
a log line. Yeah.
He does. He does. And so, yeah, I mean, there are so many things to unpack here with this. So, I blabbed on explaining what it was about last time. What do you guys have to say?
Well, I would say that, yes, exactly what Dal said. And also, considering all the things that you have to do to start any sort of business, again, emphasis on don't emulate what everybody else in AuthorTube is doing because they dove in with both feet. This takes time. It takes knowledge. It takes
Mhm.
money. You
Mhm.
have things to plan. You have things that you need to pay for. And those things, if you dive in, you're not going to be prepared. And once you start launching, then what are you going to do? You either get better fast or everything else that you produce in a hurry once you get on that deadline. And the deadline is never easy. And if you don't know what you're doing to begin with, it's only going to get worse. Improvement is going to be gradual, but it doesn't seem like there is, and that I can't figure out. Shouldn't you be learning and getting better as you go? But
Well, hopefully so, but also you should be eating. And I think that I think one of the things that's so cool about this is that he's doing it in a way that's really a lot different than what we typically see. But I think your other point before our sprint was really valid in that you do not have to be Brandon Sanderson to pull off a $15 million launch, maybe so. But you don't have to be Brandon Sanderson in order to glean some really good lessons from what he is doing and what other authors have done to to drum up that kind of interest. And that's like
Mhm.
a lot of other Kickstarter campaigns. Right? A lot of times they're not people that sometimes you're talking about like when they were going to bring MST3K back and like so you had a fan base that already had a lot of love for that group and so it made sense that their Kickstarter would be really big. But there have also been some really big Kickstarters for artists and authors that don't have a following and that actually helps them to find an audience. So
Mhm.
I think that there's like I think there's so many great lessons to learn in there. But
Yeah,
one of them is you'll do better if you're not doing what everybody else is doing. Because it's
they've had
easier to
the
sorry, go ahead.
successful ones have had good pitches and they've had something that was unique. It's everything that you should put in a query. It's like, what makes your book different in this category from everyone else? Why should I invest? But you're not talking to an agent or an editor. You're talking to people who want new projects and who want to read. And you can see Sanderson is pretty passionate, even the way he's talking. He's not
Mhm.
sitting there, bland blah. You feel his passion behind it. And that's
Yeah.
another thing that I think author tubers and writers in general should be doing is showing their passion, not so much the screaming exuberance like YouTube teaches you to do, but what is your passion? It's felt. You don't need to scream. You're a writer. Show it and make us feel that you're passionate about what you're doing.
Right, because it's hard to I would imagine not I would imagine, I know it's hard for audience members to feel passionate about something if they're not getting that same vibe from you.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of times authors are sort of embarrassed to talk about their work. Like, right? I know, Carol, I'm going to use you as an example, right? You write beautiful stories. They're well written, they're fun, they're interesting, and yet you're always like discounting them, like, oh, I write those books up there. And every time I want to be like, those books are great books.
Well, and I mean,
no, for real.
there's a couple of reasons I hesitate on writing books, or at least talking about my literature, because presently right now what I write is erotica, right? And I love the shit. Like, don't get me wrong, I fucking love it. I like writing these characters. I like watching them get together, bang uglies, fight, and then get back together and bang more uglies, right? Like, I thoroughly enjoy doing it. But trying to tell people about it is kind of awkward, especially when you have my face. When I say my face, like, I go from like pasty pale to like tomato red in like 3 seconds, right? So that's always really awkward for me. So I always struggle with that. And the big reason I don't really push my big book right now, which is Queen of Swords and Silence, is because my publisher and I are in a legal battle right now, and I don't want to give them any more of my money, right? And the moment I have my IP back, you'll hear me talk about that shit like all day long. Like, it's not like that. That's my thing. So that's kind of
third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. I'm gonna buy
I'm
it
about to
again.
make this fucking thing free to get home. I don't give a shit.
No, yes, you do.
No,
You're gonna make $50 million giving it away
Carol,
for
what
free.
I mean is, I bought that book twice because I love it so much. But
great
the money's not going for you. Then okay, then I will buy it a third time, and I'll make when it's going for
Stop
you.
that.
You know.
Oh my goodness, stop that.
It's like Taylor Swift re-releasing all of her old songs, right? All the Taylor's version songs, where now the money does not go to Justin Bieber's evil guy, Scooter, whatever his name is. Not Scooter Libby. That's a different Scooter. Scooter Braun. She's re-releasing all of her old songs, like her own masters, and her fans are rebuying all of that because they really want to support Taylor Swift. And
I'm gonna rebuy.
I know.
For
We
sure.
have every time she does a new release, my daughter and I are like, ching, yeah, another Taylor Swift album. All right. I don't want to talk about how much I love Taylor Swift, but I do. Okay. So anybody else have anything to say about the Brandon Sanderson video, or should we go ahead and move into a 20-minute? Actually, I want to say hi to a couple folks who have popped up. JL is here. You are not invisible. JL, we see you. Hi, love you. We're so glad that you are here today. I'm sorry if I skipped right over you. Kelly Martin wants to contribute to Robert's Kickstarter.
I already did. That's
right?
what I was like. Thanks for not that, like, I say Brandon like we're on first name basis, but like we're sitting here talking about Brandon's Kickstarter and basically helping to spread the word of it. So it's like
right, but this is what happens when you do something interesting and different. People talk about it, and that's how it.
He's kickstarted books before, hasn't he? Like, I remember that he's done that.
I don't know.
Because not that I stalk him very like regularly, like I do some people, but I know he's kickstarted a few, and what he does is really interesting. Because I could technically say that Brandon Sanderson's also an author tuber, but I would also argue that he's a better author tuber because he has like way more credibility than some people that come out and make videos do. Like, I can't remember the name of the person, but they made AuthorTube videos for like 3 years and then said they weren't going to write the book, and they never came out with a book. So I was kind of like, what's happening right now?
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That is super terrible.
I never saw that person. I don't want to see that person, and I really don't want to be related to that person as like in the same niche. I'm glad they are not here anymore.
Barrett makes a really interesting point. I think what's interesting about the Brandon Sanderson situation is what it says about what fans are willing to pay for art from their favorite writers and artists. $15.5 million with 60,000 donations. There's a part 2. Means $258 on average. Oops, I don't know what happened to that.
I think this is a good thing in terms of self-publishing and what I've been talking about, and getting some kind of advances. And I don't think that what Sanderson's doing should push everybody if you're not ready to jump on Kickstarter and start a big trend there. But get your book ready and then think about how you're going to market it, how you might pay for it. There's a lot to consider.
There really is a lot to consider. So he wants Barrett also goes on to say that he's concerned about pricing books so low that you hurt your ability to turn a profit. I've worried for a long time that Amazon and others have been devaluing books. This exercise for Sanderson is a spectacular example. People will
Yes.
pay more money if they love your books. And the challenge for indie authors and traditionally published authors is to get people to buy in at the early stages.
Mhm.
So you
Mhm.
need them to read your first book and then before you become an auto buy. And maybe that takes one book or two.
I have questions about these because it's related to the passion for our books, the
Mhm.
marketability of our books, the Amazon pricing thing. Okay, it's related to all of it in a way. For example, I'm very passionate about my project. Everybody who knows me a little bit after streams and after after cameras and stuff, everybody who has talked to me about stuff behind the scenes knows that I would die for this book to have a publishing place. Like I would do anything for that book, and that's why I've been trying to go traditional publishing for so long. The thing that I say that I'm passionate about my book, yes. But then comes the query letter and the com titles and the putting me and my book and my pitches into a box. And I don't find a box for my book. I don't find a shelf. I don't find a fitting place. And then I start doubting myself as a writer. Not my book, not my story, but myself. And so there is a cognitive dissonance between my passion for this story and myself and the belief in myself and the market for my book. Is one of those cases where I think it's a great idea, but then people read it and it's like, oh, it's not what I want. Oh,
Well,
it's different, but not the different that I want. Or, oh, I'm not looking for it right now. Sorry. So it starts to pile up after a while. I've been querying and revising and querying again and revising again and querying again and revising again and so on and so on and so on for a couple of years now. And
yeah.
I sincerely feel like I have to just drop the trad pub and
Well,
go and resign and go indie.
yeah. So here's the thing about that, Doll, is the fact that traditional publishing does not recognize a market for your books does not mean that there is not a market for your books.
Oh, because
And
there is.
right. And that's so the great thing about those niche markets is that you have more opportunity to sort of own that. So there are people who want to read your books and you just need to find them. And you don't need traditional publishing to do that. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. This is like such a good conversation. Let's go ahead and get started with our first 20-minute sprint. Hopefully this time we will be able to hear the timer, but we'll see. Let's see what's happening with that. Oh, it is checked. I have no idea. Did you guys hear it or was just me? I didn't hear it. Did anybody hear the ocean sounds and the timer from last
No.
time?
Yes.
Oh yes, I heard it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
then
heard
maybe
it.
it's just me. Okay, well that makes me feel better. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to just go ahead and share this. Let me just make the screen nice and big. All right, everybody. There it goes. Let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this. All right, everybody. Fantastic. Oh, I guess I should put my mic a little closer, huh? So, how did everybody do in that last sprint?
Pretty good.
I saw a link of a podcast episode discussing why agents and editors and everybody's leaving, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting. I need to listen to that." More reasons to avoid traditional publishing.
Well, and there are benefits on both sides, but certainly there are plenty of things about indie publishing that are really, really appealing. So, JL had a comment earlier about beginning her writing journey in 2006, being burned by a vanity press because she was so naive, wanted to be published so bad, and I was I think having like challenges with kind of all this stuff that the authors are often kind of expected to do. Seriously, there are many introverts out there who are painfully shy, socially awkward, and find it hard to get in front of a video camera and be passionate.
I have a
she
video
says-
for you coming up soon.
She says, I need to find someone to do all this for me. How do you all find the time? So that is the question that I wanted to answer. I will say, though, you don't have to be on video when you're being passionate. You can be passionate in writing. You can be passionate in photographs. You can be passionate in any way that feels right to you.
Or
Okay,
audio,
so
like Doll does.
what was that?
Or in audio, like Doll does.
Or in audio. That's right. You can do this in whatever ways that feels right to you. So
this is a thing that maybe JL has been watching AuthorTube, and like everyone is on camera, and then it's like, oh, how can I even get into AuthorTube without being on camera? I don't want to be on camera for whatever reason. I have a faceless social media for writers video coming up because, hey, I have a profile picture now, but that was, you don't see my face, you don't see my awkwardness, you don't see my blindness. That is notorious. So like there are many things. I understand where you're coming from. I'm an introvert, and even if I don't sound like it, I am very, very, very shy. But yeah, so
you're among friends here. So
yeah, no, but
right?
But
everybody else.
No, I understand where JL is coming from, and I have all the things. It's coming up. I'm working on that video right now. So hopefully it can help you, and if it doesn't help you, there will be a comment section where people can discuss further, because this is a problem. People misunderstand that to be successful you have to show yourself and show your face and your job and your dog and your kid and your no, I understand why she's having those doubts. So I will discuss that further soon. And you don't need it. You don't. I'm not doing it. I'm not showing you my house and my desk and my things. And here I am. And there was a package for me that wasn't cheap to send, and it happened. So if that could happen, why can't you publish your books? I am here to support you in whichever way and format you want to get your things out into the world.
I'm having a moment. What were we talking about before we got to this point?
Campaign.
Kickstarter. Okay. So, no, we were talking about how do you do all of the things? How do we do all of the things? That was her question. Like how, like, oh, do you start a Kickstarter? Do you do this? Do you have an AuthorTube? Do you post every day 18 times on social media?
Yeah.
So Carol, let's start with you and sort of go around the circle, and we want to make sure that we have time for more sprints. So let's try and keep it brief, everybody. Carol, how do you do all the things?
I don't know if I'm really a good example, but I basically focus on the thing that's really important to me, which is my writing and making money. So I have time blocks set up for writing, and then I have time blocks set up for the people that I work for remotely, and that's pretty much it. So
I think that's really a great advice about prioritizing what's important for you and what's actually working, because you can get really busy doing all the things and be running on the hamster wheel and not really go forward. How about you, Story Detective?
Well, I'm currently even stockpiling some videos. So once I get going with that, hopefully it's a little bit more steady. But I would say for JL, I mean, there's even things that can imitate voices very well now, like that one program that's Speechalo that has a really convincing sounding voice. The problem, if you're going to do it for Kickstarter, is they need to see you. You don't want to be hiding behind a computer voice or not showing yourself. You're going to have to make a video where people can look at the person they're investing in. So that is one thing that, in terms of publishing and doing a campaign like that, that even the shy people, I think, are going to have to come out just for a second and, you know, let them see that you're passionate about it. Let them see the person, because you might be shy, but that could actually be beneficial in some ways. You're not going to look like you're overbearing, arrogant, or phony. And if your writing is good and your pitch is good, people will want to invest in that as a newer writer and say, hey, I like that person. I want to give him a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Sako, what do you think?
I slot 30 hours a week to do all the things, and I track each hour within those 30 hours among 6 projects. And I'm actually in a bout of burnout at the moment. And I'm going through some therapy to try and like worm my way out of it.
That's hard. That happened to me several years ago, where like I just, all brain power stopped. And it is tough to kind of get back on the horse. I will say that it is better, like, to focus on the things that are really working for you and the things that you really enjoy, because the more things that you feel like you have to do to support your writing, but you hate to do, like #Facebook, which of course we're live streaming on Facebook today. Sorry. I feel like that adds more to the burnout. Like the more joy you can keep in your writing career, the
or
easier it
drawing
is to,
or whatever your career
or drawing or
happens to
whatever.
be.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Michelle,
that was
what
me
say
in
you?
2020.
Yeah.
Oh, but go ahead. Well, I was going to say that was me in 2020. I was burnt out. I had health issues. There was a lot holding me back. But starting up again, I restructured a lot of my thinking. And I think I used that time pretty wisely, because I've learned mistakes that I was doing before that I don't want to repeat. And even if you're going about it slowly, you know, working on your book, I'm finding that coming back to writing and editing now, I'm doing it in smaller chunks, but it gives me an opportunity to go over that chunk. And even when I'm not working on it, I'm doing something else like washing dishes or going shopping. Suddenly I'm thinking about that and I'm editing in my head. So when I come back to it, I still have things to polish and get a better polished piece than just trying to do a whole bunch and then, you know, fix it.
This was me in 2021. That's why I went on Instagram. Yeah, but I didn't do anything with anything else, and I didn't want to talk to people much. That was me in 2021. I didn't want to deal. I didn't want to, but I was coming back at some point. I was like reanalyzing what I was doing with my social media stuff and my writing, and how to make better choices with my things, because I was learning too, and I was following bad examples. So yeah.
Well, and we all do that. We really have to all focus on what works best for us. Speaking of someone who does things that work really well for them and not doing things like social media that they don't want to, Michelle, my hero.
Hi.
Tell us about you. Tell us about all the things you do and do not do.
Yeah, I do not do social media. I do YouTube, and right now it's not so much burnout as it is that I'm just still in crushed under a workload. And so it's making it hard for me to find the motivation to pick up the camera. And the way I'm still, first of all, I just gave myself permission to only do 1 video a week instead of 2. You don't have to, whatever arbitrary goal you give yourself, you don't have that. You can always cut down if you need to. And second of all, I have in Asana, I have this like really long list. It's actually multiple lists in different categories of video ideas. And when I'm feeling like this, I just go and I look for something that I'm excited to talk about. I'm not going to force myself to do a video about something I just don't feel like talking about right now. And also, honestly, something that is going to be easy to film and edit and get uploaded. Nothing that's going to be like a big edit, you know, I'm going to be spending hours in Final Cut, because I just know I don't have the time to do that, and I'm not going to force myself to do that. So anytime I would say, if we're talking about YouTube specifically, when you have video ideas, just keep a long list. And, you know, something might come up and you're like, you know what, I just don't feel like doing that today. And you can look at that list to find something that's going to get you a little more motivated, and maybe that's going to make your life a little bit easier too. So that's how I do it.
If it's
I think
encouraging
that
at
is
all,
fantastic.
Michelle, you're one of the few people that I watch that I do find encouragement listening to when you talk about craft. So.
Same.
Aww, love
Thank you so
fest. Nice, very nice. All right, so I'm gonna just do like pop up on the screen really fast because we have everybody in the chat is like telling us how great they did in the last one, and I'm super proud of you guys. Very nice work. Great, 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 great. Awesome, you guys. Very nice work. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and do one more sprint. Well, not one
Do we
more.
not
This
want to hear
hopefully
from
can be-
Doll?
We did hear from Doll. We heard from Doll first.
We did?
I did. I
Yes.
rambled a lot today.
Oh.
Yeah, we heard from Doll first and most. So we're gonna go ahead.
Yes.
I would never forget. I would never forget, Doll. You know that. All right. So let me go ahead and pop up the 20-minute timer. Here we go. Let's see. Speaking of Doll, give us a little pep talk, would you?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right, friends, we have 20 minutes on the clock for you to do your magical stuff, whatever it is that you do, writing, painting, drawing, scheduling posts, whatever, anything. We're here to support you. 20 minutes for you to focus on your thing. And we are starting the timer in 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 1, and sprint.
All right, everybody. Very nice to see you. I'm trying to figure out everybody that I'm. All right. So, okay. So, how did everybody do on that last one?
Okay.
I got
Carol,
some
you're
lousy
muted.
news, so I look forward to the discussion today.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm very sorry to hear that.
I finished the social media post for my person that I help with.
Great. Fantastic. How about you, Robert?
I did okay. I looked through some notes and had some discussions with Georgie about some other things that don't pertain to writing, but it was productive in other ways.
That's good. That's very good. So, and let's see, Carol, Michelle, how did you guys do in the last one?
About
Good.
1,000 words.
Excellent. Look at you go.
Dictation.
I finished my daily word count for this monster book I'm writing, and decided, since I met the word count, to go and edit something I finished last month.
Good for you. You guys are being so productive today. All right. So there was a whole little side thread here about CB saying I'm fairly introverted when reading or speaking and very introverted when playing the clarinet, but amazingly not when singing on video. And then there was a whole bunch of CB love about your singing. So that is super awesome. Look what Carrie said. Have tissues for thank you for being a friend. Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. All right. How did you guys do in the chat on that last sprint? Please let us know. I want to just do another 5 minutes of chit chat because I would like to get one more sprint in before we go today. I want us to be more productive than we are sometimes. Heather's here. Hey, Heather. Thanks so much for stopping in. We are very, very glad to see you today. Very, very nice. I feel like I missed some people here also. I think I did say hi to Morgan. Morgan had said something earlier that I thought was super, super important. And I think this came up when Michelle was talking. And that was, she was saying, I need to learn that, not trying to force myself into arbitrary deadlines I set for myself.
Mhm.
You've got to, for that to
Oh,
work,
yeah,
you've got to be deadline driven. And
yeah,
if you're not deadline driven, then it's just going to add more stress.
Well, here's the crazy thing, though. In order to be a successful writer, you have to be deadline driven in some way, or you'll never get anything done. And so I think that's why it's the downfall of so many of us is that, well, if I just write this in my little book and put a deadline, then it will happen. And then when we have too many little things in our books with too many deadlines, how we can start to feel like really overwhelmed.
I think Morgan is referring to also this arbitrary, you have to put 2 videos per week. And I'm like, yeah, that's for other niches, not for writers.
Well, and the thing is you're going to be more successful if you're doing what you're doing well. And so even if for AuthorTube, the standard was once a week or twice a week or 7 times a week or whatever it is, if you can't do that or you don't want to do it, then you shouldn't. You should do what it is that you can do, that you want to do, because if you're showing up in a good way, that's going to come across to the people who are watching your videos or being on the other end of your social media. But if you are forcing yourself to, do these sort of arbitrary things, then you're not going to have that. All right, we've got some comments. Let's say hi to Maya. Hello, Maya. We are super glad to see you. You missed some stuff, not everything. Thank you for being here today. Of course, you can always go back and watch if you want. What did I just do? Writer Sam Wicker ate lunch and combated some spam calls while moving files from the phone into my video editor. Very, very nice. Oh my gosh, StreamYard keeps jumping. Sorry about that. Carrie got 100 words. Handwriting this outline, had to email my pastor. Very nice. Just in case, got 150. Woo-hoo. I love the novel I'm writing, but I loathe writing it. The style is difficult. I think that I love the sort of wordsmithy part, I will say, but I think every writer's favorite part is the end. That's just my theory. Right? There you go. Barrett says, welcome, Maya. We chatted about Brandon Sanderson's wildly successful Kickstarter campaign for his books. I do want to say, Carol brought this up to me in the private chat. She was like, we need to remind people so that they do not feel like crap that Brandon has had 10 years to build up his following, and he always engages with his readers. So he already had a very big built-in audience. And I think his YouTube channel has something like 340,000 subscribers.
I love his live streams. I love them. Like they're like he'll sit there and just do like the author sign pages for like 2 hours, and like people will be like, "Hey, somebody asked you a question about this," and like his insider knowledge about how publishing works is like completely off the charts. Like he knows everything. Like even like the stuff I'm like, "That's not your job, but you know it," and then I have to remind myself that he's an engineer, so he wants to know how everything in the machine works, right?
Yeah. I know. I would not. I mean, I really find his videos fascinating, and I am not a reader of his books, although I do like. We have been watching the Wheel of Time series, which is I don't think we're to the part yet that is
they
based
talked
on
to him about it. Yeah.
I think he's an executive producer on it, and
what I want to say
really
about this Kickstarter, because now I watched the whole video. Like now I know exactly what we're talking about. Pay attention to how this is going. He's not just randomly like, okay, I'm going to start a Kickstarter, so like I want to publish my book. No. Right. He has an entire plan, meticulously developed, and why and how, and the different tiers, and like there is like Carol says, he's an engineer, and it shows. There is a plan, there is a purpose for everything, and this is how this Kickstarter is very successful. So when you're going to do it, this is why I started the weekly planners. This is why I am not following other people's deadlines, but my schedules instead of what other people can do. Because hey, blind and voiceover work takes longer to edit. And so like you make a plan that works for you and really works for you, not other people's idea of what works for them. No, you make your own thing, you break it down to a granular level so you know which part does what and why and how and when and all those things. And after you do that self-reflection, you're going to be a lot more successful with whatever you put out, because there's a lot of intention, passion, and execution and delivery and all those fancy words. So that makes it.
What were you about to say, Lisa? I'm sorry, Dad. You like totally cut Lisa off.
I'm sorry. It's okay. I was just popping up comments. I do. Ooh, we have an alarm. I do agree that there is clearly a lot of thought that went into that. I don't remember what my original point is, but I did want to go up and do the comments. So let's go ahead and talk about that, because we want to try and get one more sprint in. So Mint Ghost says, I make loose deadlines. I try to give myself more time than I think I need always. That way I usually finish early. That is awesome. Very nice. Morgan agrees with you, doll. She says, talking about the have-tos and not enjoying it. Maya's got a little quiz for us today. Random celebration. Found a cute book in a LFL. What's an LFL? Thrift store? Okay. Tell us what an LFL is. Anyone want to guess how much it's worth? It's a small kid's book, maybe 1960s. I don't know. I'm going to say $100. That's my bid. It'll be like the Price is Right. Ooh, save it, Maya. Everybody guess what Maya's book is worth. Hopefully she didn't already tell us. Oh, yeah. Okay, so everybody guess what Maya's book is worth. And before the end of the show today, we will have Maya tell us what the book is worth. I think this is...
I'm going to go $1 over Lisa's and say 101 and be like, the Price is Right, and just go $1 more in case it's a little bit more.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna write down everybody's bids on the screen. Okay, so mine is 100. Robert is 101. Like the bad boy he is. What's yours, Caro?
1 cent.
Ooh, Caro also employing the Price is Right strategy. 1 cent. Okay, how about you, Michelle?
I'm going to go with $52.
Ooh, $52. That's nice. You're splitting between Caro and Sako. How about you? What's your bid?
I'm going to go higher and say $500.
Ooh, $500. Okay, Price is Right rules, though, so you have to be closest without going over.
I know.
All right, just checking. I just wanted to like not add that in after the fact and give you a chance. Okay, Doll, what's your bid?
I'm going to say 300.
$300. Okay. All right, everybody. Let's have your bids in the chat. And when we come back, Maya's going to tell us how much her book is worth, which I'm very excited to know about that, especially now that we have stakes. Although I do have no chance of winning. Robert made sure of that. All right, everybody. Let's go ahead and do one more sprint before we go. Hold on just one second. Let me grab this up. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Oh, and of course I did not rewind it. So let me do that really fast. All right. I'm going to do this one because we're tight on time. You guys are awesome. Let's make the last sprint count. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Hit it. Okay, we are back. Let me just stop the screen, get everybody unmuted here. I think
Tied in.
there we go. All right, so so Maya's going to tell us what the book is and what it was worth. I want to make sure I get everybody's bid in. So if I'm going to read them out really fast, and just to make sure I didn't miss anybody. If I missed your bid, hurry up, super fast. All right, and prop it in the comments. Okay, so Heather said 90. I said 100. Robert said either 101 or $100.01. That's what you said, right? 101 cents.
It was $101.
Oh, $101. Okay, that's what I originally wrote down, but then I wasn't sure because we were talking about Price is Right. All right, so you are 101, but that doesn't matter because JL is 102 and JC is 103. Carol was 1 cent. Sam Wicker is 125. Michelle's 52. Sacco's $500. Doll's 300. Morgan's 325. Carrie H was 350. Mint Ghost was 250. And Barrett, I think, came in at $15.4 million, or he was trying to give us the latest update on the Sanderson campaign, which is really close to $16 million right now. It's kind of crazy. All right. So we have all those. Yes, we do. Okay. I think we've got all of our bids in. Maya, tell us who came closest. Actually, you don't have to tell us who came closest. You can just tell us what the price is, and I'll tell everybody who came closest. I'm kind of dying to know. While we're waiting for Maya to drop that in the comments, there were 2 quick things I wanted to mention. I did remember what I wanted to say. The first thing was that Doll had asked really early on in the stream whether you should just give up Patreon to go with Kickstarter. And the thing is, they're they have 2 completely different purposes, right? Yeah. Patreon is for ongoing support versus Kickstarter, which is for a project with a deadline and a goal. And so there's no reason why you can't do both. And then Robert had said something about, how launching a big Kickstarter or something like that can take a lot of money. And I agree in some ways, but I also respectfully disagree, because I think when you don't have money, it forces you to be a lot more creative. And I know I can see your face, Robert. Like,
yeah,
you're
I didn't
smiling.
mean a Kickstarter cost that a lot of money. I meant planning for a business cost
right.
money.
Yeah, that is true. But I do think that when you don't have a big budget, that you can make up for that with creativity. Always. All right, we've got a winner here. Are we ready? Okay, so Maya says it's called My Special Day by Gene Fielder. Got it for free. There's varying prices, but the average is $135. What? That is amazing. Okay, so $135. Let's see. JC. Is JC our winner? Yeah, because JC came in at 103. And our next bid up is $250, which would be Mint Ghost. So JC, look at you. All right, JC, send me a message on Instagram and let me know what your address is, and I will send you a special prize for being our big winner today. Congratulations. Woo! Maya, thank you so much for playing. That was actually really fun and a fun way to end the stream. And congratulations on that awesome find. I totally love that. I think that is so awesome.
I had a quick note on what people were talking about, deadlines and burning out, and what you said about needing deadlines. I think when you're doing it for yourself, you do need to get used to deadlines, but I think making habits for deadlines, like if you know you're working and your schedule is busy and you generally can write a chapter or 2 a week, then say your deadline for that week is going to be a chapter. And if you write more, then you feel really good about it because you surpassed your goal, you met your goal. Make it something that works for you. Don't try to come up with a deadline that's going to be, I'm going to write my whole novel and get it published within the next month, or do some crazy thing, because that's just, why would anybody who's not working a deadline want to work that kind of a deadline and put their work out there under that kind of pressure? And
right. True. Of course, if you have like a pre-order up, then you, right? I mean, this is the thing, like working with these. And again, if you've been doing this for a while, you know what you can produce. And I know that a lot of the 6 and 7 figure authors that I work with, they've got that pre-order up right away, and they're not a lot of times not finishing that book until right before the pre-order.
Yeah.
And right, which is this is something that I both admire and am terrified of.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've never met a deadline like that. I finished like super. I mean, I finished early, but not super early. Like a week early would be like, "Ooh, look at me, fancy writer."
Yeah.
Yeah, and more likely it's like the night before. So, anyway, this has been a really entertaining, strange, and wonderful show today. So thank you guys all for being here. Ooh, RC's got a little pop in on this. He says, I've been going on a daily 500 word count quota, trying to push myself to 1,000. So that is awesome, RC. I am super proud of you for that. I actually did that last year where I was writing pretty consistently at like 2,500 to 3,000 words a day. And I really wanted to get myself to 5,000 by the end of the year. And it took me like 7 or 8 months. But what I did was I wrote 5 days a week, and I upped my goal by 10% or 5%. I think it was 5%, by 5% every single week. And so it's just like another couple hundred words. And okay, if I wrote 3,000 consistently every day this week, and then my next week, I'm going to write a couple hundred words on top of that. It felt super doable. And I was shocked that I actually got there by the end of the year. So that was a really effective strategy for me. So good for you. 500 a day. That is awesome. I mean, that you can finish a book on that for sure.
There's some debate on the winner of the prices.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Hold on. Sam guessed 125. Oh no. All right. You know what? I'm so sorry. That's why I was saying, like, if I missed somebody, did I miss? I don't have Sam on here. Okay. So here's the deal. Sam also messaged me on Instagram. You get a prize too. Since I messed up, I don't want to take it back from JC now. I feel bad. So JC and Sam for being the closest win a prize. Yay! So you guys just reach out to me just DM me on Instagram. It's Author by the Sea, and send me your addresses, and I will send you some goodies. So yeah. All right. I'm sorry, Sam. I apologize. This is why I was worried I was going to miss, because like this is my piece of paper. And I can't believe I don't have you on there. Oh, shit, I did. Look, you're right here. Sam Wicker and Teeny Tiny Writing, 125. That was my bad. I'm sorry. 2 prizes. All right.
2 prizes.
2 prizes. That's okay. My error. Sorry about that. All right, you guys. We are at 108, and that is past our time today. But I am so glad that you guys were all here. And you are all awesome. And I just love you guys to death. So let's say goodbye to our little outros. Let's make them brief today, since we are way over on our time. And I'm going to start with the queen of brevity herself, Carol Brown.
Oh, I was like, who is that? Hi, my name's Kara Brown. I wrote those books on the wall over there. I came here to write words. I wrote words. Thanks for having me. There you go.
Thank you. Story Detective.
Yes, my dusty channel of the Story Detective. We'll have more videos at some point soon. And we take all forms of storytelling and put it under that Sherlockian microscope and break down the craft and give it to the viewers to make their craft journey easier. I also do tech reviews, and there'll be more of those soon too.
Yay. Thank you so much for being here today. Sako.
Howdy, neighbors. I'm Sako Toomey, also known as Cass Voight. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those 3 things. Thanks for having me, Lisa.
Thank you so much for being here today, Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle Schusterman. I'm a middle grade and young adult author. My channel is writing blogs, writing workshops, and traditional publishing chat. And thank you for having me, Lisa.
Thank you so much for being here today, Doll.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm Cecil Runo, blind storyteller for introspective readers, and my YouTube channel is a strange combination of wildlife meets writing, because I write sci-fi with a big nature focus. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much for being here. I am Lisa Daly. We are here live streaming Writing Sprints every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. My new book is out now, 15 Minutes of Shame. I am super excited about it. If you love rom-coms, I hope you'll consider reading it. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here today. See you next week. Bye.